What's up everybody? This is going to be kind of a short video. I apologize in advance for that. I've been pretty busy this week between Thanksgiving and work and quite frankly me just being a bit of a lazy piece of shit. But we're going to get a little bit of work done on the blue Corolla, getting it ready for the new 7AG. It's just going to be a lot of random kind of BS. I don't really have a plan for this video. So anyway, I'm just going to start just diving in and doing stuff on it. I've been completely redoing the brake system in this thing. Not just deleting all the hard lines from the engine bay, but going manual brakes as well. So this is actually a Honda Civic brake booster delete plate because you can get them for like 10 or 15 bucks on eBay and they fit in an 8.6. But they just use this single outlet Willwood master cylinder. Originally, how I had this plumbed up was using the factory proportioning valve. I decided to change that up. I don't know how well the proportioning valve is set up on this car currently. I know on my sedan, for some reason, whatever prop valve is in there is really disproportionate. If I slam on the brakes, it'll lock up the rears long before the fronts ever do. So anyway, I just want to get the brakes dialed in as possible. So we're going to be switching to a adjustable proportioning valve, also from Willwood. It should work pretty good because it'll just work in the same location. So this valve will go here on the bottom lines because this is for this outlet is for the rear brakes, so it goes down to here, goes under the car, and then this outlet and out the top of the valve is for the left and right for the front brakes. So essentially I'll just replace the top piece here with one of these T-fitting, so that way it just splits direct pressure to the front brakes, and then this will go in line here. I might flip it upside down, do something like that. Any case, to drop pressure to the rear brakes in, whatever increment is necessary to get your braking pressure even all around. I've never really liked the brakes in this car ever. They're just factory calipers, front and rear, GTS rear brakes, but factory calipers with Porterfield R4S brake pads. And it's okay, but I don't like the mushy feel of the brakes that much, and I just didn't like the aesthetic of the booster, honestly. I just wanted to delete the booster and be able to delete the hose running to it as well. So we're going manual brakes. I actually went down to a 3/4 inch brake master cylinder. When you delete the booster, you need to have a bigger hydraulic advantage to get the same amount of braking force without having to increase your pedal effort. Basically, you don't want your pedal to be rock hard and not be able to stop. So you go with a smaller master cylinder, which actually increases your hydraulic advantage and gives you a little bit more braking pressure at the expense of more pedal travel. So I don't really know yet how it's gonna work out. Obviously, we're gonna find out, and if I hate it, then I might go to big brakes or something like that, because it is just stock calipers right now. I might go to a Willwood setup or something on the front, but we will just wait to see how well the car stops with the manual brake setup. And if I hate it, well, then I'll hate it and we'll address it then. Things kind of positioned here. I think this will work out pretty good, but I got some ideas on how I'm going to clean it up a little bit better. I think I'm actually going to flip this one to where there isn't a fitting pointing down, that the flat side is on the bottom, and then I can just get a short straight hose to go from here and boop, go straight to there instead of having this big loopy deal on here. And then if I do that, then I can also have another straight one coming off here. Or I guess I could do a 90 to 90, so I could have a 90 come up and a 90 into there. And then that'll make that a lot more clean. and I was going to use a P-clamp right here to hold this fitting in, or actually I could probably use 2 P-clamps, one here and one here, to hold this guy in place. And then, yeah, this hose is not going to be here. Anyway, this is kind of a janky setup. I used a couple washers to space this out so that the knob wasn't right up against the strut tower here. I'm probably going to throw a riv nut right here so I can get 2 bolts in this guy. But I like the placement of this. I like it being nice and close to the brake master cylinder. There's just some stuff that I can do to clean up the line situation a little bit more so it looks a little bit less jank, I guess. But we're figuring it out step by step. Alright, well, because I can never just leave anything alone, I rearranged this like 20 times probably, trying to find a combination that I liked. This I actually like a lot. I just need to get one of these hoses that's maybe like an inch or 2 shorter so it doesn't bow out like this, but instead just makes a nice arc up to our proportioning valve here. And then this might be tricky, trying to find a way to join these two together. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a hose that's short enough, or I might be able to just find like some kind of union, kind of like this guy right here. If I could find something like that to join those two together, that would work beautifully. I got a couple P-clamps right here holding these 2 hoses together. I can probably throw one either here or here to hold this hose in place once I get a shorter one for this. And then everything will be nice and secure. I just need to throw one more riv nut for a second bolt in this prop valve here, but there's clearance between the strut tower so I can reach in here and adjust it. Everything is all neat and orderly. Also, this hose will be going out through right here, so this hard line won't be here anymore. And then I can run these 2 hoses nice and low across the firewall back here, so that they are, I guess, not totally invisible, but more hidden than they were before, with the hard lines being up here. Just trying to clean up the engine bay as much as I can. Gonna order a few things probably, and yeah, try to get this whole situation sorted out. It's finally coming together a little bit, I think. Next random item on the agenda for tonight is to mount this peripheral port 13B in the engine bay. Okay, not quite. That's for another project that we'll talk about at some point. I am going to install this here bash bar, mostly because I'm sick of looking at this package on the ground and stubbing my toes on it when I go to get a drink out of the fridge. So we're gonna do that. I gotta push the car forward a little bit. Yeah. Oh god. Did I run over anything? Oh, I just left myself barely enough room. Okay. Okay, so a small dilemma. Looks like our bash bar is almost the right dimensions. It's contacting on both sides, and it is not quite all the way in. You can kind of see the bolt holes down in here. I actually don't know if you can see that. It's super dark and the lighting sucks. We need to adjust that. And by adjust that, I mean do some clearancing with the old hammer boy. Okay, well that was stupid. I had to bash this in a little bit here, kinda more than I thought I was gonna have to. Not gonna lie, it pains me a little bit to just dent up a nice car like this, but honestly, it's better than just doing the JDM bumper brackets for the kouki bumper, because this will at least provide some kind of protection in the rear of the car if someone bumps into me from behind, versus the JDM brackets, which will do literally nothing and the car would just be totaled. So I guess it's a good thing in the end. Strangely enough, this side had clearance. I did have to bash it in a little bit more, but not nearly as much as the other side. And then these bolts were a freaking pain in the ass to get in, and the holes didn't quite line up perfect, and this sucks, and this is why I hate aftermarket parts, but hey, it's in, and we're gonna mount a bumper to it. But not tonight because it's not here. One thing that is actually nice about this bash bar that I forgot to mention, so this jacking point right here is very nice, especially when you're at the track, for changing rear tires, since you tend to go through those pretty quickly when you're drifting. It hangs down. You can actually see on Andy's car over here. You can actually see it hangs just barely down below the rear bumper. So you can't really notice it when you're standing behind the car, but it does poke out just a little bit, which is super nice for being able to jack the car up from the rear of these cars, because you have the fuel tank and the exhaust and everything in the way back here without any real jack points until you get all the way up to the differential there. It makes it kind of a pain when you're at the track, so that is actually nice. I will give props for that. Alright guys, I apologize. I know this wasn't really much of a video. I just wanted to do a couple things on the car just so I could push out a video this week. I just didn't get around to doing a whole lot this week. I promise the next time I upload a video it'll be a lot more interesting instead of just this random little nonsense working on my car. But if you watched all the way to the end, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Next time we're probably going to play around a little bit more with this cylinder head, get some stuff buttoned up on it, and maybe bolt it onto the block and start actually assembling some stuff here. I'm just going to end it off here. Thanks for watching, you guys.